Welcome back to Reasonably Afraid, part 2 of our series on Evil Dead. And today we're talking about Evil Dead 2 and Evil Dead Rise. Now, yes, as always, I have
Which is
my...
Evil Dead 4.
5, technically.
Well.
Yeah, Evil Dead 5.
Yes. If you didn't already check out our other episode on Evil Dead, the original 1981 and the 2013, not remake, what would you call it? Reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you haven't already checked that out, check that out. Episode 31, I believe is the one. Yeah. So shouldn't be too hard to find. I got my co-host with me as always. We got Ray Reyes.
Yo.
We got Sean Dolan.
Sean.
Correct. And of course our producer Turner, who is busy making sure that everything's running smoothly. And by that I mean he's a dog in a blanket.
And
Yeah, he's doing it.
Yeah.
yeah.
And of course, do we say your name ever?
Oh, that's a great. I mean, we're tagged and all
think
this
about
stuff,
that.
but yeah, it's me, Zach. I'm your host.
Just thinking about that.
Yeah, I'm the guy who.
And also, Zach.
Yeah,
We say your name. I don't
That's
think you
true.
ever say your name.
it would be kind of weird.
Yeah. It's
How
kind
often
of like
do
a
you say your name?
Beetlejuice thing. He can't say his own name.
Yeah. And thanks for introducing me, Zach Bennett.
Thank you, Sean. Before we get going, we want to thank our top tier Patreon members. We got our friend Kelly
Mm-hmm.
and our friend Nicole. Thank you guys for paying the bills.
Yeah, thank you guys for sticking with us.
Yeah, and of course, thanks to all our other Patreon members, which we will give you a little shout out at the end of the episode, like we always do, because we love you. So, I think it's time. Let's just jump right in. I think we should start with Evil Dead 2 and just get right into the nitty gritty.
Okay.
Knock it
Yeah.
out.
What's nitty? What's gritty?
Let's talk
Nitty.
about it. So,
It's
obviously,
the best of the three originals.
Well,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Which one?
Well,
you know
I
what?
haven't
Yeah.
seen
Before we
the
jump
third.
in, what you've seen all the Evil Deads now.
No, I said I haven't. Wait, what? Really?
Oh, you haven't watched Army of Darkness yet?
No.
That's right.
Did I? No.
Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
what's
It's the
your?
kookiest one.
I feel like Rise is up your alley, though. It feels like Rise
Yeah.
is definitely your cup of tea.
That was pretty like scary.
Yeah.
Or like, even. Oh wait, we're talking about 2 first. Hold
No,
on,
it's
right?
fine. You're allowed
Yeah.
to. You're allowed to
Okay,
say what you
okay.
feel about Rise.
No, it's just like it was compared to the other, the first 2. I'm like,
Yeah.
that was definitely scary, but also I like the setting of it too.
Yeah.
Just very condensed, and
Yeah.
it was like you never felt fully comfortable the whole movie,
yeah. It's
like ever, right? I don't know.
yeah. Well, before we hop in, Evil Dead 1 and 2 are pretty similar, but there are some differences. Ray, would you mind giving the differences for Evil Dead 2? Just so people know. Or
Evil
maybe
Dead
not the
2,
differences, but
yeah,
like the,
but
the general, the
Yeah.
general
That
vibe.
fucker goes back to a cabin. What the hell? What?
yeah. Well, that technically it's not. So okay. So what happened was
yeah. Here
they
we go.
lost the rights to the first movie.
Yes.
So in order to make the sequel and like sum up what happened in the first movie, they had to do that weird like
a-
setup where it's like he's
Just him
going
and
to the
his
cabin
girlfriend.
with him and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then
Wait, what do you mean they lost? So they couldn't show it anywhere?
they couldn't show like
Right.
what happened, like a recap of what happened in the first one.
So they still got paid for Evil Dead 1 and everything, like all that stuff all worked out, but they lost the rights to keep using it in further stuff. Like the studio, New Line was the
Mhm.
studio that they worked with, which we'll touch on once we get to Evil Dead Rise, because that'll be the first time that the Evil Dead franchise has gotten back with New Line after having a pretty bad taste in their mouth for a long time.
Mhm.
Well,
Um,
wait, so where would it have started? You think?
So technically, and this is said by Bruce Campbell,
Mhm.
Evil Dead 2 picks up right where Evil Dead 1 leaves off, where like the demons coming at him from inside the cabin. So all of 2 up until that part is just recap, and you can kind of ignore it if you've already seen the first one.
But it was confusing to audiences at the time. So if you see Evil Dead 2 and you think to
It's
yourself,
confusing me right now.
Well,
yeah, because it seemed like he just came back to the cabin. Like, why would he do that? But like, that's not necessarily what happened.
Well, because it was a different. Was that?
it's a different actor.
It's
Yeah.
a different
Yeah,
actress. It's they set it up just kind of vaguely similar,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't do it justice to the first one.
So
Yeah.
that was supposed to be the same
Right.
thing. Okay.
Yeah. It's supposed
I
to pick
actually
up.
did not realize
Yeah,
that.
yeah. That's, and a lot of people back when it came out didn't realize it either.
Yeah.
But because the first one was such a underground, like not as well known movie, outside of horror circles, a lot of people didn't really know about Evil Dead when it first came out.
Mhm.
Evil Dead 2 is sort of the one that put the mark, like hey, we're here, like it really let general audiences started to find out about Evil Dead once 2 came out because it got more mass distribution.
That's right. You said the budget and box office were so small in that one, right?
On the original,
Yeah.
So this one, what they almost had to do something in the beginning to show it, to basically like sum up what the. I mean, there's even
okay, yeah.
There's even like narration in the
It
beginning.
makes sense with
like-
the piano
Mhm.
thing then
Yeah.
and everything. Like, yeah. I feel like I should have realized that
Yeah.
too then, but
And so the rest of Evil Dead 2 is him surviving the initial cabin attack,
Yeah.
and then just give a little recap about who joins the story, just so we know where we're
Yeah.
at.
So like this truck driver, like this pickup truck driver, his girlfriend, and then the one girl whose father was the one researching the Necronomicon.
So there's a researcher and another guy who they're coming to
Yeah.
learn about the Necronomicon and find his papers and find her father because
And find her father.
she doesn't know that like they've been like basically killed by
the
this-
Necronomicon.
right by the
Mhm.
demonic forces. So the woman and her business associate at this point,
Mhm.
they're out there they're going to find the cabin, find her dad, find the papers,
yeah.
and do this, complete this study. And then they can't cross the bridge because the demon blew up the fucking bridge.
Yeah.
And so that's when the truck driver and his girlfriend are out there, and he's like, well, there's a little trail around here. We can bring you over. And that's how they wind up at the cabin, thus bringing in 4 new people for Ash to have to.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And
He was more animated in this.
So yeah,
Yeah.
this
Like,
is like
you
he's
just get-
so
you,
alive
like-
in this one.
yeah. So in case you hadn't seen Evil Dead 2 in a while, that's sort of the recap of the story for the most part. We don't need to explain the end, but we'll get there. We'll talk about it
let's
as we
talk
go.
about it.
But that's sort of the gist of it. It's 4 new people. So in case you were confused, it's a sequel, not a reimagining. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's both a sequel and a reimagining, kind of. The recap is a reimagining. The rest of the movie is the sequel.
You know what? I'll give it to you. Absolutely.
Wait, when is that? When do like how far along in the movie is that? It's a significant amount. No?
I think it's about. I could be wrong,
It's
but
basically the opening.
Oh,
I mean, it
like-
takes about 10 minutes, I think, to get there.
Oh,
If
okay.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
those
Which is
people
a
are
good jump.
introduced like. It took 10 minutes.
It's kind of funny the way it's paced because what happens is
Yeah.
Ash is getting the shit beat out of him, and then it cuts back to them just like getting ready to go find the cabin. So like.
oh yeah.
Like there's a
Mhm.
part where he's just getting the shit beat out of him. They're just like, I wonder if we could find transportation from the airport. Like,
yeah.
and
Okay.
then it
He
cuts
doesn't
back to
meet
him and
them.
he's like,
He doesn't
"Ah."
meet them 10 minutes in.
No.
No.
Well,
Okay.
I guess it's about what, maybe 15, 20 minutes in, I guess, at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're introduced to the characters pretty quickly as Ash is having to fight the demonic forces. And then they kind of come in as he's just gotten to safety, I guess would be the way to put it.
Wait, does he fight the monsters? What was that? Where with the hand thing?
What do you mean?
He had like the hand that he was like fighting.
Oh, when he has to saw his hand off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It like drags him across the floor too.
It's such good acting.
That was
dude.
that was a good.
Well, they said that was
Yeah.
one of the hardest things about getting the movie financed was just convincing people that that having him alone for so long in the movie getting filmed would be worth even having a movie.
Dude,
up.
those are like some of the best.
Yeah, and Sam Raimi's like,
parts.
you don't know my
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Honestly, they were fun. Yeah.
like, well, let's get into it. Evil Dead 2, 1987, 84 minutes long, rated R. God bless. They finally got it at NC-17 hell that the first movie had been in, so they got to get more people out to see this one. The director, of course, Sam Raimi, and writer, but he also brought a co-writer on this time instead of just doing it all by himself, and that was Scott Spiegel. And Scott Spiegel, he became a director and executive producer himself. He directed From Dusk Till Dawn 2. He directed Hostel 3,
Okay.
and he's the executive producer of Hostel 1 through 3 also. So
Those are. Someone did that I've seen their movies from.
Eli Roth.
There, yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
there you We've talked about
Yes,
multiple times on
multiple
this.
times.
Yeah.
Nailing it.
Hey, I knew it was a guy that did something.
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, you got it. What's great about this episode is we don't have to dive into the deep lore of Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. We already covered all that on our first Evil Dead episode 30. So
What was better? What do people like more that are fans of the series, the first or second?
I
Evil
think
Dead.
it's like kind of a toss up
yeah,
for the most part. I
because
think
this one builds the lore better,
yeah.
whereas the first one is like kind of giving you the it's the beginning. You need the beginning, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
So
Do people find that like I'm trying to imagine like which one has more charm though, even because of that fact. But it's like this one really leaned into it with the like. It's like almost like a pilot episode of a TV show.
yeah. Well, I think that's what's great about this one is that it still has the same charm as the other one, but they just have more money to do cool shit with, like the stop motion stuff with like the skeleton dance and everything,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So they were able to kind of do wilder stuff, which is kind of cool.
I didn't know it was gonna make noise.
Honestly, I was so surprised. That actually sounded creepy. I was like,
Yeah, right?
We got to give a shout out to
dude. Actually, I'm getting. What is that? A demonite?
I don't know if you can hear it.
Demite?
hear it.
Demonite? I'm saying it wrong. What
Demon
was it?
Knight is another movie we will cover at some
Wait,
point.
actually?
Stop fucking doing that.
Okay, wait. What movie?
Okay, that's fine.
What movie?
Oh,
Demon
all right.
Knight?
Yeah. Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight, fantastic movie.
Huh?
We're gonna cover that at some
And these are called what?
Evil Dead.
The Evil Dead. things.
Deadites.
Oh,
Deadites.
Deadites. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna jump into.
Was that inspired by it? Sorry, I just need now. I need to know. I wonder.
You need to know about Deadites?
No, like I was like, oh, Deadites to Demonites came later. I'm guessing.
No, it's Demon Knight, like Night of the Demons.
Oh,
essentially.
Demon Knight.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh, gotcha.
All right, so
Now I'm at peace. Go ahead. I can rest now.
yeah, Sean can die now, everybody. So new characters that were introduced and new actors. So the character of Annie is played by Sarah Berry, and she went on to be in Chud 2, Bud the Chud.
Sarah Berry. What is? I've never heard of that one.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna keep moving. And she wrote for 4 episodes of Art New York, which is a documentary series about, you guessed it, art in New York. Congratulations. Sean.
Oh, nice.
I
Okay.
know. An actor that we definitely need to give a shout out to, one of the new cast members,
Mhm.
Dan Hicks, who played Jake, who was the tow truck driver.
Yeah.
That dude, fucking great job. What a fun actor to watch.
hmm
Not a known guy at the time, and the way he got the role was when they asked him, what would you do to bring character to this? He took his teeth out because he had false teeth in the front. And he took his teeth out and just started being a redneck.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, "Hell yeah, dude, that's commitment." So you got it. He went on to be in Maniac Cop. He was in Intruder, Darkman, Wishmaster, 2001 Maniacs, and a movie called Dick Johnson and Tommy Gunn versus Cannibal Cop: The True Story. That's a fun name for a movie.
I
Yeah.
don't think it's a true story. I think they're lying.
Wait, what was that
Yeah,
in the
call
name?
him out.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, say that just the whole thing again?
Dick Johnson and Tommy Gunn versus Cannibal Cop: A True Story.
I think my brain just automatically blacked out when you said a true story.
Yeah.
Well, these are the things that you can do if you just put yourself out there and pop your teeth out.
That's
So.
cool. I
Yeah.
should watch that.
Oh yeah, and another actress, Casey Wesley, who played Bobby Joe, she later went on to be in a ton of stuff, but mostly soap opera. She was in Guiding Light. She was in One Life to Live. She was in the reboots of some of those and Days of Our Lives. So yeah, she went on to have a pretty great career. Still making money off those residuals, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good for her.
Hey, respect.
But since we don't have to cover a ton of new actors in this film, we can just jump right into shit, dog.
Yeah,
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
there's like we have 4 actors.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to jump into fun facts, and then we'll talk about
Yeah.
the movie as we go.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Or do
Um,
we? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what's good about
Yeah.
it. I mean, like, it's hard to even explain Evil Dead 2. Like, it's
Yeah,
it's like
try.
a lot
Yeah,
happens,
try.
but like a lot doesn't
Yeah,
happen
yeah.
at the same time.
You're like, you remember Evil Dead 1? It's like that, but now they have money. Like,
Yeah.
what else? But also a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
Name 3.
I will.
Name 3 things that they did in this movie. Random, go.
Well, one of the things they had to cut, which I think is important, is that they actually had a whole thing worked out where Ash was going to, there was going to be escaped convicts who were going to wind up at the cabin and basically hold Ash hostage. And then they were going to have to fight the demons also, which was like this whole other subplot.
Yeah,
and they were
yeah.
like, oh, it's going to make the movie like 3 hours. We can't do this. So they cut them out. But there was
And
going to be a whole subplot with that, which would have been kind of fun, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
would they have survived?
No, they would have died.
No,
Big
everyone
time
dies.
Yeah, a lot of death.
Everyone except for Ash.
Yeah.
You see Ash as a deadite in this one.
Oh,
was
yeah,
fun.
yeah. That was cool. Yeah.
Mhm.
So Stephen King once again came to the rescue for Evil Dead. And not enough for that first time where he gave that little shout out where he was like, I love this movie, and they were able to use it on their posters. And, that Stephen King
Yeah.
quote is on all the original promotional materials for the 81 version. But for this one, they were having trouble getting financing because, when you go to people and you say, I want to make this movie, and they go, cool, what is it? And they go, well, it's basically this other movie, but better. And, the continued story. And then they're like, oh, what was that rated? And they're like, NC-17. Tough sell for most people.
Yeah.
But luckily, Stephen King, while working on Maximum Overdrive, worked with the same production company that was producing the Evil Dead films.
Oh.
And that is DEG, which is Dino De Laurentiis, that company, DEG. And basically, Stephen King talked to his producer and was like, hey, you should really think about helping them get this off the ground.
Oh, nice.
And through that chain of communication, they were able to get the movie off the ground. And the thing about that guy is that his company has international distribution. And apparently, Evil Dead 1 was so known internationally in black market cinema as like this NC-17
Whoa.
thing that like
Yeah.
in other countries you couldn't buy it. You had to get it off black market and stuff.
Holy shit.
Like this movie was banned in a bunch of countries. Well, the first
Look at
movie,
the shit they're doing in America, man.
basically, yeah.
It's crazy.
Fucking nuts. They're just showing people die.
And because they had,
Stuff, man.
but
It's
because
actually fucked.
because it had been banned in so many countries, though, like if you had a copy of it, it was like a big deal.
Yeah.
So like people knew about Evil Dead. There was like a lore to it, and there was even people that hadn't seen it that like, that knew about it. So what happened was when he went internationally, the guy from DEG went internationally and said, we're gonna put out this movie, and would you guys be interested in financing? So many people were interested in the film that he got overseas producers that knew it would make money and said, yeah, I'll throw in. And they basically got enough financing to that was over budget. He said, so the joke on day one of production was he came on set and he goes, just let everybody know we already made profit.
Hey. Wait,
So-
why did they have to? Oh, wait, you said time constraints, not money constraints for
Yeah.
the convicts.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that was more like how do you work in that
Yeah,
narrative and
Okay.
It
They
would've
had the
been-
funds. They had the money.
They had the
yeah,
money
they
to
had
do
the
it.
money.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they ever shot any of that. If they did, it would be super cool, but I don't think they ever shot any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they were in the black, as it
Nice.
were, day one,
Mm.
which is pretty sick. Bruce Campbell did have a stunt man, not like the first movie where he had to do all his own stunts. However, that guy got to chill most of the time because short of falling down that staircase head first when he gets thrown into the cellar, Bruce Campbell pretty much did all his own stunts.
Oh yeah.
Really?
He's like, yeah, that guy was sitting around and Bruce would be like, no, throw me through the car. so
It's a lot of this movie. It's just Sam Raimi trying to figure out how to fucking torture.
how to kill.
You see where the
Bruce
line
Campbell.
is.
Yes, he was
And
in
he was like,
line.
all right, no to the stairs.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell was like, I don't know, man. That's a pretty steep fucking staircase. I think the stuntman should have said no to that, honestly. That looked brutal. That was like, that staircase was like straight down, it felt like. Anyway.
Just
He's like, Ben, he's like,
torturing
I'm
him.
not even warmed up, man. Wait, what? He's just been like on his phone the whole time. Or, well, that wasn't around back then. He was just
Yeah.
doing Sudoku on the side or something.
Mm.
Dude was just reading a
Oh.
newspaper. He's like, fucking. He brings a book to work.
Yeah, he's just sitting there doing the New York Times crossword
Yeah.
puzzle.
Wait, what? You want me to do what? I got a full face first down this. That's fucked up. That's actually.
Can't
fun.
Bruce do it?
Yeah. Oh, Bruce. Oh,
Bruce.
Bruce. I thought you loved doing your fucking.
No, you love doing your own stunts, dude.
You're
Sam
pretty
Raimi.
badass. Yeah.
I love the idea of Sam Raimi just pushing the envelope to see what he can get
Yeah,
away
yeah.
with.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, Bruce, and this next one, the stunt double's gonna play Evil Ash, and he's gonna fuck your wife in front of you. What?
This next scene is Russian roulette with a real. We're playing for real.
What does this have to do with the movie? Forget the movie, Bruce. All right, so if you notice in the beginning of Evil Dead 2, that Rosebud Productions is the thing that comes up. It's kind of funny because you don't expect that right before Evil Dead because it's like this beautiful sky and like this pretty font. And then people did kind of go like, oh, what's Rosebud Productions? Like no one really knew what that was. It was basically like a shell company that they had to set up because DEG had a contractual obligation to not put out unrated stuff because they were a major distribution and production company. And at the time, especially Hollywood was like very strict about putting out, you know, especially in the late 80s after they were having all the stuff with like music and movies where they were like, oh, this is like creating like demonic, like the whole, what was it called? The Satanic Panic, right?
Yeah.
Wait, I think you said it was R.
Right. So the R rating wasn't in the initial release.
Oh.
So that came later, but the initial release was NC-17. So in the initial release, they had to come up with a company to cover their asses until they could get the R rating from.
How did it get
however.
switched again? You said
I don't know the full story about that, but I know the initial release they couldn't do certain places.
Damn.
So yeah.
So they had to put that whole like
so
additional
Rosebud
company just for
yeah, they had to make up a fake company that doesn't exist for, which I don't think there was much involved in. I don't think there was no paperwork. I don't think. I think it was just
It
like come up
sounds
with a
so
logo.
intense. It was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it was smart of them to do because they were like, hey, until we can make sure we, make more profit. Like, it's nice to already start off from day one and, ahead, but you also want to make some money on it,
Yeah.
So that's just an interesting thing. But the great news for the cast and crew that continued on from the first Evil Dead movie is that they finally got to shoot in a warm weather, not freeze their asses off in a cabin with no power or water or anything.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, that'd be fucked up. It's like, well, listen, you're already conditioned.
Listen, we got the money,
This
but
way, yeah.
Sam wants it cold
Yeah.
to torture Bruce, so now you're all tortured too.
I don't know. It's this weird thing where he wants to fuck his wife or something. I saw him playing Russian roulette with a gun. What was that all about?
Yeah.
So it was warmer, but the only problem was they shot. They found a school
Intern and shot him.
in front of Bruce Campbell.
He's like, Jesus Christ. You remember that, Bruce.
All right, so
It's like 6 feet away from him.
So they shot inside a gymnasium in a school called Wadesboro Junior Faison High School. So Wadesboro Faison Junior High School. It was in North Carolina, and they shot it during the summer, so it would be warm because the last time they were cold. Unfortunately for them, a heat wave came through, and you can't very well air condition an entire gymnasium, and even if you could, you'd have to turn them off to shoot because the compressors would be too loud and the audio would be all fucked up.
Yeah.
So they shot the entire time. It's the polar opposite of the other movie.
Damn.
The whole time, everybody was just sweating to death.
Well, that makes a lot of sense because he was sweaty in all of the scenes, dude.
Everybody was fucking dying.
That was just real. They were like,
Yeah. That kitchen scene was entirely improvised, which is fun. Where the stuff's attacking him in the kitchen, and he's like swatting stuff off him. He's like, ah, and like plates are flying at him and all that shit.
How is that improvised?
They're just throwing shit at him. That's what's happening.
Yeah, I think Sam Raimi
wouldn't this be funny?
Sam Raimi literally just started handing people plates on the set and throwing the shit at Bruce Campbell, which is so funny. Kind of fucked up.
And make sure you throw these divorce papers at him.
What the fuck?
What the hell, man?
It's not real, but it's just funny.
Yeah, you wrote up divorce papers?
But the funniest thing about that is like, there's no dialogue, right? When he's getting all this stuff thrown at him.
Yeah, I'd be like, what? What is going on? Stop throwing plates at me.
So,
Why are you throwing plates at me?
So he's not, there's no dialogue. But what's funny is, when they dub over stuff in other countries, they just have them dub over the dialogue in that language or whatever. But for some reason, multiple countries did this thing where they were like, oh, it's just weird to like have the actor like grunt the way he does while getting hit with stuff. So there's a couple different countries where they actually added in audio. Where he's like, what you were just saying, where he's like, no, why are you doing this to me? And they're like in another language, just like acting, but he's not saying anything in those scenes. But he's like,
so funny.
please stop throwing plates at me, which is kind of hilarious, What a weird thing to watch
What was
that.
his like? What was he sounding like again?
I mean, we can, if you want, we can like find the Italian version and watch it.
Oh yeah.
You want to roll the clip?
Roll the clip.
There you go.
Boom. Oh yeah, thank God they dubbed it over in Italian, like so. Oh, that's so much better.
Like so. Okay. I'm gonna save this one for later. Don't let me forget.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh yeah. So this is kind of a cool inside baseball thing for horror fans. Everybody knows about the company K&B, which is like, yeah.
I mean, explain to everyone else though, just in case.
Yeah. Let the audience know what KMB is.
Because sometimes people are a little bit slower,
Yeah. Well, K&B, of course, is known for...
Oh, Key and Beale.
Oh.
Key and Beale, is that what you just said? K&B
Guy that's never seen Key and Beale.
Good guy.
Or has heard of K&B. What's K&B? I'll be honest.
K&B is the special effects team that that worked on Evil Dead 2, but they went on to become probably the most preeminent special effects company to work in horror.
Like current day right now?
Well, now that you have more, but I mean, all these guys that were on K&B, the ones who broke off, did other stuff. So this is just the guys who worked on this film that you would recognize. I couldn't write everybody down, obviously, but Greg Nicotero from Walking Dead and Return of the Evil Dead, and like a lot of major horror stuff. He's also in what is it? From Dusk Till Dawn. Greg Nicotero and Tom Savini are the guys in From Dusk Till Dawn that get killed.
That's why his name sounded so familiar, because I feel like you brought that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And which brings me to who worked with Greg Nicotero on this film, Robert Kurtzman, who did the special effects for From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
And
they didn't even do anything in that film, right?
Yeah, they were just hanging out.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure they did for fun or whatever, but But this is the great part about this, and I think you guys are gonna love this. There's so many fun stories about these guys. But if you watch, there's a behind the scenes and making of thing of Evil Dead 2, and the special effects team said it was basically like a giant frat house, but it was all special effects guys. They were like, we constantly were a pain in everyone's ass. He's like, we would just get fucked up and try and make shit as chaotic as possible.
Like in terms of the special effects.
Yeah, but they'd make it like, if they said like make it wild, they would just go 10 times harder. And they were like, so when you watch Evil Dead 2, it shows. I mean, it's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's fucking bananas.
At one point, they gave those guys a crew car, and they were like, sick, thanks for the car. And then they just started doing donuts in it and crashed it immediately.
Fucking great.
And they gave another car, and they crashed that too.
That's so funny.
It is funny to think about.
I really like the idea of the special effects team being the wild card.
Yeah.
We blow shit up, man. It's crazy.
We're gonna fill up this whole set with blood. You guys cool with that? It's like, I don't know. All right, what about red wine?
Yeah, because we already did it. So I'm just, I just wanted to get your reaction.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're not opposed.
They actually they were really indignant when people would come in and fuck with their stuff. And you remember Rob Tappert, the guy who's the main producer from the first movie on into this. Rob Tappert, you know, he was always he was like, I'm the main producer, I can do what I want. So there's actually a couple of scenes where they had taken things from the shop to use for shots without asking them, and they started getting pissed off because they'd been working really hard on this stuff. They partied hard, okay, but they worked hard, you know, and they cared about their craft and their stuff, and so they started getting pissed off, and they were like, we're gonna teach them a lesson, and that lesson comes in the form of the suit for Henrietta, you know, the woman in the basement. Remember the one who gets out, like the real big deadite that comes out. And
it's like spinning in the air.
Yeah, there's a part when first of all, that's Ted Raimi, and it's Sam Raimi's brother. He's in the suit. There's a part. So they're shooting, and those are old school '80s full latex suits. Yeah. So people are sweating to death. They got those contacts where they can't see.
Wave,
the heat wave. But they also can't see because of those contacts, you know. Mm-hmm. So just imagine that guy just sweating to death, not being able to see, getting spun around. And Sam Raimi's just yelling at his brother. He's like, all right, 15 more seconds. You're good. But the thing that they did was they would have to, everybody that wore latex for the shoots all those days, they would have to take those suits, especially the full body ones like Henrietta, and they'd have to dump all the sweat out at the end of the day. That's how much people sweat in those. It would like build up in the suits. So one day this is so fucking gross. So one day what they did was they took the Henrietta suit after a day of Ted Raimi sweating his fucking life out into it, and they poured it into styrofoam cups. And then they fucking booby trapped their office. And so Rob Tappert went in to go fuck with some stuff that he shouldn't have been fucking with, and he got a fucking face full of Ted Raimi sweat.
Nice.
And he never fucked with their stuff again after that. So
I thought they were gonna be fucked up and like put in like a water bottle.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you said that. That brings me to my next point.
What?
I know. They said to blow off steam, sometimes they would have water gun fights, and everybody knew about the styrofoam cups, and they were like, you just hoped it was water. But yeah, they would just imagine you're trying to get this movie shot, and all of a sudden,
is this Ted Raimi sweat? No, it's vodka.
Yeah.
Now drink it, pussy.
Man, life at KGB was crazy, man. We were, you know, doing drugs, getting fucked up, and drinking a little bit of sweat. Just a little bit. We got squirt, and you lick it up, and it's like, oh, pretty good.
Dude, just imagine like you're making this movie. You know, there's so many people depending on you, and these like unbelievably expensive, state-of-the-art special effects props are like, your movie's hinging on how good these props look. And you're like, hey, where are the special effects guys? And you look out the window and they're just like,
I just imagine him like wearing a bandana, just like in a fucking vest, and he's walking through an explosion.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm also on drugs right now.
Okay.
Like, can I get some water? They hand him like a cup, and someone drinks, and they're like, "Oh, was that Jack Daniels? No, it's Ted Raimi."
Raimi's- yeah, it's Ted Raimi juice. Okay, so it's funny.
It's how I work so well.
It's funny to think about all these amazing like practical effects they used, and the chainsaw. Remember how we talked about the
There's
tobacco?
nothing practical about these effects.
Great.
He's not enough.
He's about to pouse out from like heroin or something.
Do you remember in the first movie we talked about how all the like anytime there was smoke or dust or whatever, it was just Rob Tapert blowing cigarette smoke?
Yeah.
So in this one, they just took a cue from it, and the way that they got the chainsaw smoke to come out instead of like actually like having like chains, because chainsaws don't always have smoke coming out of them.
Yeah.
They rigged up a tubing system, and Rob Tapert just blew cigarette smoke through it. So even after everybody had even after all this money to make everything state of the art, there's just this guy going.
No, I love that. That's a cool little creative.
Yeah.
They're like trying to figure out for days. How do we do this smoke? And he's like, you got to think about everything around you. Oh, fuck, honey.
That's it. They just told the media that it was cigarette smoke. He was just getting high as fuck while doing that.
Yeah, it was, what's the most legal? What's the most legal thing I can say?
It was cigarettes.
Yeah.
At one point,
now will you stop asking questions?
At one point,
I was in the pool.
It's just, it's a cigarette, Zach. It's a cigarette. I'm telling you.
That's why my eyes are red. Is the chlorine made my eyes red?
I can have one singular cigarette and you wouldn't even freak out.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. You do need to do just one cigarette though.
What are you, my mom?
Sorry, I freaked out for a second, but seriously, it's one cigarette. It's literally one cigarette. And I can't shoot a fucking movie with it, dude. I'm sorry.
Christ.
Anyways, what were you saying?
God damn it. At one point, it looks like the chainsaw on Ash's arm has switched hands, and everybody thought they found a film flub. Which, to be fair, it did look like it. But what actually happened was Sam Raimi flipped the negative because he thought it looked cooler for the scene. So he purposely made it look like that. Or he fucked up. But I feel like it'd be pretty difficult to do a fuck up like that where every shot is like the same hand wrapped up. I think it did flip, but it is funny to think about him. No, I flipped the negative, and be like, what? No. Green blood was used, as you may notice throughout the film. It's not all red blood. There's like this, because they thought that using green blood, they had heard, like much like in the From Dusk Till Dawn thing, right, where it's like don't make it all straight up gore and blood that looks real. They were like, green blood will keep us away from the X rating, and then the ratings board was like, nah, dog. Still gave them the X
But
rating.
then they thought about it this morning. Actually, I kind of fuck with that.
Yeah,
You're good.
Once they said give us a different version, yeah.
Wait, what? Oh, did they have?
They lightened up eventually. They met him halfway, and let's see. Oh, the character of Bobby Joe, which is Cassie Wesley's character, that was modeled after Holly Hunter, and the famous actress and model. But she was roommates with Sam Raimi, Joel Cohen, and Frances McDormand back in the day. So pretty fucking cool. Okay, you're gonna love this. Remember the rat? You remember the rat in Evil Dead 2?
Yeah.
He had a nickname, and his name was Senor Cajones.
Why?
Roughly translates to Mr. Balls.
Mr. Balls.
Yeah. Old Mr. Balls.
Why?
They liked the guy. He was gutsy, you know? How many good rat actors are there, you know? Think of what rat actor sticks out to you.
Little.
It's CGI.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. But think about like the rats in wait, really? Meltdown.
I gotta make some calls. I put a lot of money on that rat.
What are you talking about? In what way?
He's been funding a cartoon rat's career.
Jesus Christ.
I That guy emailed me saying he was Stuart Little and he wanted to make it work.
He said he had a project that he's working on and he just needed to secure some funds. I was like, I've seen your previous work before. I trust you.
I mean, he was good.
He's good.
Jesus Christ.
He wasn't real.
Ugh.
No, but I probably, I couldn't name any off the top of my head, so I guess.
Yeah, well, they get Terrifier. Remember, they brought in the rats for Terrifier. But,
Yeah, but
you know,
those guys didn't really do much.
They're fucking. They were fucking amateurs.
They
Exactly.
came in
they were rat
after.
extras.
Yeah, they didn't
Mhm.
even. It was like rat only shots.
Mm-hmm. But
Crowded.
this guy, he did
He
back
was
and
in-
forth, you know?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's good.
Yeah. Speaking of rodents, deleted scenes include a rabid ash eating the squirrel. That's a fun one.
Is
you
that
know?
what did he get a?
That's
a
when he's. I think
stunt actor for that.
no.
Or did he
No,
No.
he was just like, all right, Bruce, I'm gonna need you to eat this squirrel.
Yeah. Is this
He's
for the
like-
movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know we found it over there.
Should I put the Deadeye makeup on? No, it's fine.
Yeah, I just hit it with my car.
Also,
Just eat the goddamn squirrel, Bruce.
Yeah, we're rolling.
also Linda's severed head spits black bile on him. Remember when he's got the severed head and the vice and everything? But they cut that scene out, which is why it's so funny when they cut to like pretty immediate after, and Ash has like black stuff on him, and you just kind of like you just kind of roll with it in the film, but it's like you're like, wait, where'd that stuff come from? And then you just kind of let it go. But that's why, because they cut that and they couldn't get it all off, and they had to keep filming. So,
Oh, okay.
but you know, it's still.
I mean, I
it
never
rolls
feel
just
like I didn't question it just because so much shit was happening.
fine. Yeah. There's so much going on that you're just like, okay,
Yeah.
It
whatever.
happened.
Oh yeah,
I believe that.
it's also super funny when Ash is getting chased through the house. We saw it when we were watching the director commentary. They're like pointed out in the director commentary, like pointing out how you can see above the set, like
Really?
yeah, because
Like, wait,
it's
what's it
not
look like?
because they don't close the top, you know, because that'd be more materials. So anytime you're on a film set, the top's always open, so you got to shoot at a certain line.
Yeah.
But it was like freehand that they're chasing him through with like
so
the
you just
steady
could
cam.
see like an open ceiling.
For how long? Like,
It's like a couple frames. It's
Yeah,
not like super apparent, but you could definitely see it.
Yeah, it's like very obvious. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, there's the top of the gymnasium. It's cool the way they shot it too. They did part of the houses that they shot in is on the bottom, and then the rest of the set's on top. So you'd actually have to go upstairs of the set to shoot other parts, which is kind of cool. But
Yeah.
but it was also kind of like, I don't know, it's a gymnasium. It's like could have just laid it all out, but for some reason that was easier for him, I guess. But
Yeah, I
heat
can
rises, so everything on the second floor set was always hotter than the first floor. So that sucks. Okay, so let's see. Oh, Evil Dead 2 was originally called Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead and the Army of Darkness, but of course they didn't have enough budget to do what they thought about doing, what they did with the Army of Darkness, which is where he time travels into medieval
Oh,
times.
so it's supposed to be one whole movie?
Right.
Mm.
But they didn't have enough money for that, so they were able to invest more in Crime Wave, which was their movie in between the Evil Dead franchise that did not do as well as they would have hoped. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. The Henrietta suit that spills out all that sweat and everything. You may notice in the scene, you notice that it's torn when he's like spinning around. And at one point, he was sweating so profusely and it had been held. And when the suit tears, you can see sweat spilling out of the suit.
Gross.
And it like got on people while they were filming. So everybody got a little Ted Raimi, you know?
The special effects guys were like, get the bottles, get the bottles.
Yeah. Save it. What is that? What
my
is
precious juice.
Oh my god.
Like trying to like pick it up.
Like thinking over their head.
No.
Years of work. You've soiled it. You've ruined everything.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
Ted Raimi will never sweat again.
The sound of the evil traveling
What?
in Evil Dead 2. How that
Wait, where am
you're right here, buddy. You're doing good. The sound that happens when the demonic force is like traveling, you know. The sounds they used for that were some noises from Sam Raimi just making noises, but the other part of it is Orson Welles' audio that had been tampered with
Oh.
and kind of like sped up and fucked with, which is funny because that technically means that the last movie featuring Orson Welles is Evil Dead 2. So that's fun, you know.
That's kind of cool.
Good for yeah. I'm not sure. I don't know how legal any of that was for them to do, but you know that's a fun thing.
Orson Welles? Is that?
Yes.
War
That
of
sounds
the Worlds guy. He's he did like a radio show back in the 50s where like they thought there was an actual alien invasion because he was so convincing.
It's pretty sick. A couple people killed
Whoa.
themselves thinking aliens were coming to get them. It's pretty wild. And a similar thing happened in the film Ghostwatch that the BBC made in I think '93, where they like convinced people in England that like because they used actual BBC anchors. It's really cool. We'll cover it sometime,
Whoa.
but it's yeah.
It also kind of lets you know how fucking fragile society is.
Yeah. It's like if you tell enough people a lie, they'll just like vote for certain people. It's crazy. Woo!
We should have listened to Orson Welles.
Yeah.
Oh, he also directed the most, arguably one of the most impactful films to cinema, Citizen Kane. So
Orson Welles.
yes, which he got a lot of shit for and was kind of blackballed for a little while because that was about William Randolph Hearst, who used his newspaper to sway public opinion. And
Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
Or, I've never seen it.
Citizen Kane is a fictional but pretty obvious mocking of this kind of. It would basically be like somebody made a movie about Elon Musk right now, and they went, you know, it's Freelon Husk.
And so, that was apparent. I literally did not know anything about Citizen Kane. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
But I
he
didn't
was.
realize. So that's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, he was. It's. But the thing is, like, it was revolutionary in the sense of like taking on social issues and taking on this person who has been such a awful use of authoritarianism as his subject matter, but also the filmmaking style was, at least in America, was one of the first films to break out of the straightforward shot format. A lot of foreign film had done it to that point, but he was like there's parts where he would like put, you know, it's back in the 40s, so these giant cameras, so you have like a camera in the floor so you could shoot up like at a upward shot at the actor. So anyway,
wow, that adds so much more weight to this was the Evil Dead 2 was the last
This is the
movie
last
that
thing.
featured
Yeah.
Orson Welles.
yeah.
This guy.
What was his part? Oh, he's one half of the demonic sound.
Yeah.
It's been reduced to that, but it's cool. It's like, you know, you
Yeah.
just throw that out.
Speaking of demonic sounds, your impression of the demons from the first Evil Dead, he cut together that clip. It's incredible.
It is.
I didn't
Oh,
realize
yeah,
how
yeah.
on point he was with
Yeah.
that. It's really good.
The cutting back and forth between the Deadite and
You think there's Deadites like have like mental health issues?
I think they create mental health issues.
Yeah.
I think they ever, I don't know, the way they react to things sometimes, I'm like, man, I bet you there's sometimes where they don't feel too hot.
They're not
Yeah.
doing great. Yeah.
Well, I think Evil Dead Rise does a lot of like kind of taking from whatever person they possess, like taking their memories and shit and overlaying it with like what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fucking, wow, this is bad. What's the main character's name? Ash.
Mm-hmm.
Got
It's
it.
like, he's like, are you trying to kill Ash or are you just projecting?
There's a lot of projection. My Deadites just need therapy.
Yeah. Look at them. Like, why? They're
They
so
don't have
aggressive
healthcare.
with it. Like, instantly, that's their first thought. I was like, all right, we got to kill someone.
All right, we're gonna move on.
When
what-
it happened in Canada, they have free healthcare.
They can handle it?
They can get the help they need.
we're gonna move on.
Yeah, just, yeah.
Oh,
The can idea?
Guys, can we please have a shorter episode? Interrupt.
I'm
Let me say
sorry.
the thing.
About
Dicks.
Go ahead, say the thing.
about
Dick
real
hole.
shit, dude. We're trying to talk about mental health, and you're getting pissed.
There's a mental health crisis in America right now, and you're not taking it seriously
Yeah.
at all.
No, it's okay. No, yeah, I'm sure they never have any problems.
What are you
The Deadites.
NRA speech? What are you doing? All right. Can we go to the next thing?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Because we're going to talk about the blood flood.
Oh, why didn't you say that from the beginning?
I was fucking trying to. What is affectionately referred to as the blood flood. You may remember when Ash shoots the holes in the cabin and then he sees the blood start to leak out real slowly. And then next thing you know, he has neck-breaking amounts of water sprayed or blood sprayed at him.
Yeah.
The way they got that shot was they turned the camera 90 degrees, had him horizontal, and then they just let blood shoot out from the top of the set straight onto his head. Yeah. So not only was there like a hose spraying it at him, it was spraying it straight down and into his mouth and into his face. So basically a more extreme version of from the first movie where he had that happen. And now he's got like multiple angles of it. Like if you go back and watch it, it looks insane. It looks like he's gonna die.
Yeah.
They said they had to make sure that he didn't drown because he said he literally couldn't breathe because he had so much fake blood pouring into his mouth.
Jesus Christ.
A real trooper. Could have got the stuntman in for that.
Yeah.
He could have almost drowned in fake blood, but nope.
Wonder how much blood they use on this one too. They got to keep track of all blood used for or fake blood used for movies.
Yeah, I feel like they make it up. Honestly,
Yeah,
kind of does feel a little made up.
it's hard to
you know.
quantify at times. I'm sure a little.
Yeah.
bit.
But definitely more than the first one for sure. I mean,
you subtract the amount of Raimi we used, probably not a lot of blood. And they
So-
use Ted Raimi's sweat.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Afterward, that's what he said.
Yeah.
He goes to Bruce. By the way, that was my brother's sweat in there.
lot of Ted sweat in that. And that
Ted's-
fake blood.
Hey, Bruce. Okay. Yeah, that was. I mean, that's like hundreds
It's fake
of
blood, but it's real sweat.
gallons.
It still makes it fake blood though, because it's not blood.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Local film crews that came to work on this, when you hire PAs, a lot of times you get people that are local, but they also got local or semi-local North Carolina people to come work on the film. But they said back in those days, like not everybody, it was like people that had worked on like commercial shoots and stuff. It wasn't like film people because they weren't going to like fly out a lot of people unless it was like, head like top cinematographer, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they said like the lighting crew, all those guys, they said it was all local crew stuff, and they all fought Sam Raimi the whole time.
Really?
And
What?
he said in one weekend he fired everybody. He was like everybody who was local crew. He was like, get the fuck out. They fired. They said they wouldn't shoot past a certain time, which is like not how filmmaking works.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go overtime sometimes to get a shot. And he said they would just leave. He's like they wouldn't even. Like, there wasn't even a discussion. You'd be like, no, guys, we got to get the shot. And they'd be like, see you tomorrow. And they would just fucking walk out. So he fired everybody, hired a bunch of new people. And then day one, he's like, if any of you had a problem with this, this, or this, and the way that I do shit, you can fuck off right now. And everybody was like, we're good. So that's how they said he did like a speech. Like, you had to get up and like do an actual, like, if you want to be here, you fucking be here. And they just did that. And
Were they still local, or were they like they just get,
yeah, I think it was more local people, which is
Had
kind
to
of
find
surprising.
just caused a riff in that town?
Yeah. They still talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked on the first week and a half, and
Yeah,
then Sam got all upset.
It divides into two groups of people: the ones that left and the ones that didn't. They're like
Who's in the middle?
I'll be honest, I watched the movie,
people
I
that just
still
aren't
didn't get it.
involved in the film industry. Most of the town isn't involved. They're both mostly neutral.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that guy's an amateur and he's still a goddamn amateur.
The
Sam Raimi?
Sam Raimi. You're just Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi. He had no idea what he was doing. He still didn't know what he's doing. All of his movies have been terrible. Because that one time?
Yeah, because you wouldn't stay past 6, you fucking
What are you
dickhead.
talking about?
Yeah. It is wild to think of it like...
I know how to light a set.
It is crazy to think of somebody arguing with Sam Raimi about the lighting.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. What are you doing, dog?
He went on to fucking shoot the Spider-Man movies. What are you upset about?
Oh, watching Spider-Man, just like, oh no,
I was wrong the whole time.
this is a masterpiece. Oh my!
And it is the wrong person to fuck because they keep all the people. If you work with Sam Raimi and that crew and they like you, they bring you on everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and that's pretty rare in film. I mean, there's a lot of people that do it, but like, it ain't like the most common thing is like one of the people who could have kept you working forever. You could have moved out of North Carolina. You could have moved out of fucking Wadesboro, North Carolina, and lived in Hollywood making movies for the next fucking 40 years. But no, you had to be like, oh, actually, I don't think the light would go like that. Fucking idiot.
Man, what if that guy just left early because he needed to get to his daughter's birthday party?
Don't stick up for these guys. Don't do that. Don't do that.
It turns out this whole time there's layers to the antagonist.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, so he's not all bad. I mean, I don't agree with his actions. I don't know why he's trying to murder Sam Raimi, but
You don't understand. I had to get I had a marriage counseling appointment I had to get to.
Yeah,
I didn't really want
And
to
if I
disclose
missed
that.
another one, it would destroy my marriage.
yeah. You know whose marriage gets destroyed is the guy who fucking argues about lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he knows what he's doing. Fucking
Oh.
listen.
Mhm.
Your
And then it
marriage would be
turns
better.
out, yep, they get divorced, and then it turns out she was a big Spider-Man fan. And it's like, it's all circling back. I was wrong.
Yeah, sorry your kids don't get to go to college now because you wanted to argue about that Dutch angle. You fucking dickhead.
Even with the
He
even with
overused it.
I've been saying it
I've
since
been saying it
1987.
Dutch angle this, Dutch angle that. God damn it, this isn't filmmaking.
Don't
Okay.
bring up the Dutch around me.
I said, what the fuck are you, Tim Burton? Knock it off.
I hate those bicycle peddling bastards.
All right.
Goddamn L.A.
Okay, no
fucking
more time.
filmmakers.
I'm sorry.
Remember the giant head that comes in at the end with the tree branch arms? That,
Yeah.
like bust open
Yeah.
at the end and grab them and everything?
He was Dutch. He was one of those pieces of shit.
Oh, goddamn.
So the nickname for that giant demonic head was Rotten Apple Head.
Giant demonic. Yeah, I'll take some giant demonic.
This is good for you though. I wrote this down for Ray because I thought this was interesting.
Yeah.
So the thing was just so big, and they were like, "What could we possibly?" Shut up. The thing was so big that they were like, "What could
how
we?"
could we possibly fit this in an arm?
Go ahead. Finish what you said.
I'd love to. That sounds so wonderful. They were like, "We don't know what to do with this," you know,
Yeah.
and they were like, "We probably can't use this on another movie," so they just left it, which is
No.
really funny to think about.
At the gymnasium?
Yeah,
Yeah. And some kids stumbled upon it.
I think the school was closed down. I think it like lost funding. They closed the school, but still, whoever had to go in there and find that thing.
They're like showing it off at an open house, and oh my god, that's why the school closed.
Funny you should say that,
giant-
Sean. It did reemerge.
Really?
Yes, in Wadesboro, North Carolina, and you know where it emerged?
Where?
In a haunted house.
Whoa.
Some people that ran a haunted house went and grabbed that thing, threw it in the back of their truck, drove it home, and they said, "We're going to use this for our local haunted house," and then they did. So
Nice.
it was years later, and then I guess people took pictures and like sent it to Sam Raimi, and they were like, "Hey, got your thing."
Whoa.
It's kind of cool,
Mhm.
you know. It's like the bricks,
Yeah.
from the original Evil Dead house,
I think
except for
it's
you won't get shot.
I don't know if it's the original, but they have one in Mystic Museum.
Of what?
The head.
Oh no, shit.
Yeah. I don't know
cool.
if it's the original one though. It might
Maybe.
be.
Yeah, it might be. All right. Last
Google it.
last ones, and then we're good to move on. Okay.
That was to the audience. It's like,
Yeah, Google it.
You know,
Let
find
us
out.
know.
Yeah, put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments. Find out.
How many heads?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Maybe
medieval.
there's multiple heads.
Yeah.
Me too.
Probably.
Would you
Knowing
take
the special
female
effects
head?
guys. Yeah, it's probably amazing. Before it kills you, I mean. You know.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would suck.
What if
I'd
that's how
honestly,
it-
I would be thinking about it the whole time.
What if that's how it killed
Yeah.
you and it followed? It just sucks you off to death.
No,
I mean, I guess
no.
one of them did kind of kill.
Yeah, it fucked your son to death.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's honestly, that's fucked up.
So the end medieval scene in this compared to Army of Darkness is the quality is a pretty big drop off. They had more money for Army of Darkness, so it kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks significantly worse than all the stuff they shot in
What?
like the cabin stuff at the end of Evil Dead 2 when he goes through the time portal
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
he drops into the medieval times. It's pretty rough.
Yeah.
But some of the costumes, not all of them are, not all the costumes are regular medieval costumes. One of them is from Dune, the 1984 David Lynch one.
Oh.
And that is because DEG also produced.
Dune.
Oh,
Dude.
sorry.
Yeah. You good, dog? Turner's also a security. He makes sure.
Yeah.
Yes. And our last fun fact. Oh no, sorry. One more before our last one. Some asshole went and got electrocuted on set and ruined a take. And
Oh. That's rude.
so in true Evil Dead fashion, everybody put him outside and kept filming.
Mhm.
They got him medical attention, you know.
Yeah.
But they were like, we gotta fucking come on, guys. We're on a budget here. this crew's trying to go home to their kids too early. This one guy's got divorce court. We got to wrap this up.
He gets to leave early.
I think he was shocked by the Dutch angle usage.
Oh.
They're like, fucking drop it,
Let
dude.
it go, Cletus.
Holy shit.
Oh, that's a sign.
Final fun fact: the "swallow this" line from our intro music.
Yeah.
That Ray made himself,
I'll swallow your soul. I'll swallow your soul.
and then Ash says, "Swallow this."
Such a badass line.
It's great music, dude. That's it, man. We did it.
That's
we
cool.
Really,
That's cool fun fact.
we tore it up. We got through just about as fast as I thought it would with an extra
Nice.
3 minutes on top.
Yeah.
I don't know where those 3 minutes came from.
Me neither.
You know, time just flies when you're having a good time.
It is Turner's fault. Okay, so yeah, I think we kind of nailed all that stuff. What's what we'll do the Rotten Tomatoes, and I think we've been doing it. I think we did it like this last time, right?
Oh, or we do it halfway and then we do the next one?
Yeah. That's the way we did it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So let's do budget, box office, and
You go first. this
Rotten
time.
Tomatoes.
You go first.
Oh, what a nice little
Budget
birthday!
box
This
office?
is a strategy.
What a
thing,
little
actually.
birthday present.
Budget, I'm gonna go 20 million.
Okay.
Box office, I'm going to say. Oh no, that's bad. No, I'm gonna go lower on budget.
Okay.
I say 15.
Okay.
And then box office, I'm gonna say 40 million.
All right. Sean.
I have no idea with this one. I have no idea with this one because, like,
It's so
especially in
hard.
box office, I didn't realize like the reach it had. But we'll go way low. I'll go 9 million for budget.
Box office.
What?
Now box office.
Yeah. No, just your reactions. What the fuck?
Oh, I just
Yeah,
you
throwing
know,
them off.
Oh,
sorry,
fuck.
get in your head.
All right, 21. 21 for box office.
Okay. Well, boys. Budget $3.6 million.
Oh,
Literally. Well,
So
I got
much.
it,
I
but
went
I
so
thought so.
high.
I thought it was gonna. You threw me off when you said 15.
I
was
know. I went so high. I don't know why.
Well, and he kind of caught on a little bit, I think, with the not rated issue that they had it for, or the NC-17 or
What did I
unrated
say?
issue.
40?
Yeah. So the initial box office release was hindered by that So it wasn't until it got changed to an R rating which was after the initial release. So it only did 6 million at
Okay.
first.
Jesus.
Woo!
I mean, I felt like I could go. I had room to. I was like, Ray went high.
That was
Yeah, he gave you a little wiggle room on that one.
that was dumb.
All right, if you can make sure you fuck him and you leave him with 1 point, you guys will still be
Oh,
tied.
fuck you. Fuck you.
All right, John, you get to pick who goes first.
Yeah, I'll go first this time.
Okay,
I'll go first.
we're
give me
doing-
critics and then
Yeah,
audience.
yeah. I'll go. Fucking audience is like 83.
Okay.
And critics 80.
Okay.
I'm gonna go critics 75
All right.
and audiences. I'm gonna go 82.
Fuck, it's low, isn't it?
Ooh, man,
That's
Really fucking with him.
disrespectful.
that was
That was
disrespectful.
disrespectful, right?
1 point.
Okay, no. Go ahead. It's just.
Critic score 86. Audience score 89.
Ooh, hey, they were both higher, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Damn.
Did you just
Damn.
clean sweep?
Clean sweeped him.
Ugh.
But you almost got it on him last time, so he's 1 point up on you. Right now.
Okay.
But you still got
That's
Rise.
not that bad. Yeah, I still got Rise.
All right. Well, that knocks out Evil Dead 2. If I missed anything, fuck off.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself and go night night.
All right. Now, I helped a little bit with the last one, but Evil Dead Rise is what we're going to jump into now, and I think I'm going to let you cover that for the
Yeah.
explanation. You can give a
You said
general
you've
synopsis.
Seen it 20 times.
I've seen it so many times.
Well, you can make it a real quick one. Doesn't going to be top to front to end.
So
but-
film opens on this girl in a bed who's very sick. It's 3 people at a cabin in the woods, like many Evil Dead movies start. The girl who is sick on the bed gets up, starts reading off of the book that the other girl is holding, who is like standing across the room. And she was earlier talking shit about her boyfriend, or the sick girl's boyfriend, and then she fucking throws up all over the floor. Next scene, this girl is running without a scalp on. Her entire scalp is gone. The girl who was sick is the fucking deadite. Grabs a drone that the guy was playing with, shoves it in her own face, throws herself in the water. Her boyfriend goes in after her. Out of the water comes a fucking head of the boyfriend. And then that deadite rises from the water. And then, boom, title card. One of
So
the
sick.
sickest fucking Evil Dead title cards of all
Whoa.
time.
I'm gonna say this: one of the sickest title cards of all time.
Yeah, it's so
Just
fucking
perfect.
good.
Yeah.
And then that's what we started on. Next scene, we go to the
Let's just-
introduction of the main
Just,
character.
just for time, let's just do kind of a blanket.
General, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
that.
just-
I'm going.
Okay, no,
I'm going.
I'm trying to help you.
I'm
it was
going.
a title
I'm
card. It
helping
was a
you.
title card.
I'm
I
helping
had
you
to get
condense.
the title card
It
to
was a
make it
special-
a special moment.
Yeah.
Title card's a special moment.
Hey, you said yourself one of the best title cards of all time, right?
Yeah. Main
No, I
character.
know. That's why I let him do the title.
Main
card.
character
So-
finds out that
yeah.
she's pregnant while she's on tour because she is a band manager. She decides to go back home to see her sister and her kids. Her sister had a divorce recently that she's completely unaware of because she's been on tour. Her sister's clearly holding it above her head. You get an introduction of the characters. She tells the kids to go get pizza while they go, while the 2 sisters talk it out and release the talk,
The demons.
the demons, their own personal demons. When they come back from getting pizza, there's an earthquake. The earthquake cuts a hole in the garage. The kids go down that hole. They walk into a bank where they find this weird book and a bunch of records within the bank vaults. They go back upstairs. One of the kids opens up the book, cuts their finger on it. The book seems to react to that. And that kid
my
starts
bad.
playing record. Record starts summoning a spell. The kid tries to take it off and turn off the record, but the record continues to play. Then the mom is going to do some laundry. She goes down the elevator. Elevator is now alive and turns her into a fucking demon. Which doesn't happen immediately. She's like cooking eggs. And then she tells them that she's gonna cut them open and then live inside of them.
So yeah, it really didn't happen immediately. She just like thought about it over
Yeah,
eggs.
she was like turning.
Eggs.
She was just definitely turning as she was like cooking eggs. Then she throws up right before she passes out. She goes, "Don't let them take my babies."
And then she cracked.
And then she cracked. She did crack.
She
then,
did crack.
He's getting
She
good.
did.
Then
She did
basically
crack.
It
she's
just
dead
sounded
for
like.
she's dead for like at least like 20 minutes. And then they try to get the neighbors involved. Turns out the stairs are gone. The elevator is unusable. And so they're stuck on this floor. So they're trying to figure out how to get out of the building. Out of nowhere, she wakes up after being dead for like an hour. They throw her in water because she's hot. Water starts boiling. She pops up. And they're like, "Mommy," and she's like, "Mommy's with the maggots now," which is the fucking sickest line.
And then
in
fucking
the
classic, like hand on the tub,
Mhm.
like, the fingers.
And
Ah,
then
so good.
she just starts attacking the family. And then finally they get her out of the apartment, in which she just murders all of the neighbors in the hallway. While she was attacking the family, she also shoved a needle in her and then into one of the girls. And they become a deadite inside of the apartment while the mom is outside. Ends up killing another one of the kids, and the last remaining three, the main character, the young girl, end up running out of the building while the deadites are chasing her because they finally make it down the elevator. Then there's a standoff at the end with the giant amalgamation of deadites, and that's when the chainsaw and shotgun get involved, and they throw them into a wood chipper and they take off. Beautiful. Thank you.
Who survived at the end? I forgot. Dude, I know it's been a while.
Main girl and the little girl.
Main girl and the little girl only.
Mhm.
But
That's it.
the girl that finds the wood chipper is the one who takes the evil spirit to the cabin.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So that's it comes back all around. So
Yeah.
what happens in the cabin?
Yeah.
It happens after the movie.
Right.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah, that cold open
Yeah, the cold open
was the wood chipper.
was
the
when
day
the
after.
when they finally leave, the girl who is walking to her car afterwards and she sees the wood chipper and all the blood. That's the same girl in the first and in the beginning of the movie.
And how'd she get it though? Like, how did she get it passed on from?
It was just already like around the garage.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Just
when
the
she walked, it
essence
was
of
like
it.
looking. Yeah, while she was like looking around the garage, it was like lingering.
Mm.
And one of the reasons why you may watch Evil Dead Rise from 2023, rated R, 96 minutes. One of the reasons why when you're watching that movie and you may feel like, oh, it seems like there might be some different rules here, or there might be
Yeah.
definitely a different tone, maybe the most extreme violence coming from the demonic forces on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the reason is that the writer director, Irish, name is Lee Cronin,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a call with Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell and said, Bruce finds 3 books in Army of Darkness. Like when he goes to find the book so that he can read the incantation to put the evil away, right?
Mhm.
He goes and he reads that, but what he finds is 3 books, not just one, like in the first movie, right?
Yeah.
And in
yeah.
the second movie. So he says, he pitched them the idea. He goes, there's 3 books. He goes, the second book should be, technically, it's a different book in the 2013 movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, Ash is traveling through time, through portals, not just our time, but there's this universe of Evil Dead happening, right? And he says, so technically that would be its own second book. And that cabin experience is different from the other cabin experience.
Right.
But Ash is still a character in that universe.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, what if when they hear Ash's voice and everything, as they play audio from Ash saying, like what is it? Get rid of the book or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So so he says, what if this is the third? Or he pitched it. He was like, what if this is the third book? And so thus canonizing the idea that the 3 books that are in in the Army of Darkness, Ash gets sucked into one of the books, and he's like in the evil. Basically, it's fucking wild.
Mhm.
And he finds these 3 books, right? And he's like, what if the third book of the 3? There's 3 Necronomicons, not just one. He's like, the third one is kept in this bank vault, and there's actually a different demonic force in it.
Yeah, it's like they're more aggressive than you're saying, or like they operate differently. It's not the same type of deadite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and the rules are a little bit differently too. Are a little different too, because she gets like fucking shot with a shot. She gets her head cut off, and she's still moving.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's like no way to like kill it. But then like that's different from some of the rules in like Ash versus Evil Dead and stuff, where it's like if you dismember them, you kill them, or if you bury them, you kill them. Like
this is a worse book.
Yeah, this one you can't do anything. They just keep coming back.
Thus, if you listen to the idea that they accept that concept as part of it, it means that it is now canon in the Evil Dead universe that Ash is a separate thing, not a reboot. 2013 is not a reboot. It's a different group of kids.
Mm-hmm.
And Ash is out there having already had that experience and technically time traveling while that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, also time traveling during Evil Dead Rise.
Right.
Give or take, depending on where he's at.
Yeah.
And Evil Dead Rise is that third book. So this guy just had this clever idea for how the book would be introduced, and then suddenly change the entire universe of Evil Dead. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's my favorite Evil Dead. I feel like there's more to these movies versus like the dynamic of having a family. I feel like gave an extra layer in this movie, because I feel like you get these little hints that Alyssa Sutherland's character, who's like the main Deadite, that she's sort of like emotionally abusive. And then you see that kind of like get aired out more when she is a Deadite.
Yeah.
Because like you see like little hints of it where it's like the relationship that her and her sister have, where she's like continues to call her a groupie even though she's constantly like, I'm not a groupie. It's like you're going out of your way to insult your sister and be passive aggressive at it, or like when she's like, you look just like mom. It's like kind of this weird like attack on her, where it's like, she's being very passive. So these little hints of like she's not the most emotionally healthy person. So when you get into this like when she gets into like the Deadite mode, it's like that's when all this shit starts coming out.
Right.
Like where like she tells her kid, go tell your brother to turn the music down. Where it's like she doesn't even want to like parent necessarily. So you see like these little hints of like not even really being like a healthy parent, and then that comes out in the Deadite's words of, I'm so happy that I'm finally away from you titty sucking parasites. Where it's just like, oh, the Deadite's kind of like not, it's like kind of reaching for words that they've wanted to say.
It's like they know what's going to upset the people by being tapped in their psyche of the person whose body they're inhabiting.
Being a little hyperbolic, but
Yeah. They might be over exaggerated a little bit,
but it gets the job done.
Yeah, I love that aspect, that layer that like Lee Cronin added to that, especially like that hallway scene where like she's trying to get the daughter to open a door, and she's like, "Oh no, me and your daddy are back together," and blows a kiss at no one just to get her to open a door. Fucking wild.
Yeah, outstanding. That work on that. Yeah, everybody's acting in this is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Cinematography is incredible. Like, just the way it's shot is just, it's brutal, but it's also, like, really well done.
The cold open, was the girl Irish? I don't know. I listened to it low volume
I
on
think
the
so,
cold open.
but I don't think that was intentional. But
yeah.
So, well, I think we can, you can all take your own time to go look at what these actors have done. I usually cover it more, but I'm going to not do as much for time. But multiple people have the cinematographer, the editor, and even some of the actors had worked on Ash vs. the Evil Dead. So a lot of the people that came from and the editor even worked on the 2013 Evil Dead. So there's a lot of the team kind of came along with it still.
But this was recent, right? You said
2023, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shot in 2022, I think. Because they said a huge.
Bro, oh my God, Turner.
Whoa. Turner,
Hey.
chill, bro. Jesus Christ.
Turner.
That was aggressive.
Yeah.
I think they were saw each other today. I don't get. I'll get into it later. But
I'll get into it later.
no, it was
Thanks.
good. It was good. No, he fucked up though at the first. He was like he jumped. Actually, I'll just say, but he like jumped up like when they got towards each other. But then they let me like they just kept sipping eventually because like Buddy was like really hyped and like Turner got fucking taken back because he was like jumping around into him.
That's
But then they like ended up just sniffing each other and being fine. A little bit. Like they didn't actually make contact, but like he just like got on his hind legs and went, "Hey,
It's so funny to just bury your head in a blanket after you just fucking lost your mind.
Yeah, he's like, fuck, I'm just so frustrated,
Yeah.
man.
I just need some sensory deprivation.
Dude, I'm producing this shit and it's getting me on edge, bro.
120. Where you at with that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's that early? 1 p.m.?
Wasn't that early?
Mm.
Okay. So let's jump back in. Okay, we'll pick it up from here. Okay. Lee Cronin, he said that the writing and filming of this was, all during those like early parts of COVID on into 2022 when they were shooting. So like a lot of writing had to deal with like how everybody's like stuck inside with their families and like how to deal with like evil at your door and like
Yeah.
a lot of it was influenced by that feeling of like dread and like people having to deal with sometimes with people that like maybe they didn't have to deal with as much when they were able to go out to work and go out and see their
Right.
friends and like so yeah it's very apparent when you watch the movie just how much of it like he said he was influenced by Poltergeist because there's so much of that like family dynamic happening like with this haunting that's happening. It's kind of very similar, obviously his is more intense, but arguably. This whole thing's shot in Auckland, New Zealand. I had no
Really?
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild. I mean, because there's nothing
Yeah.
that would really give it
inside
away.
for the most part.
But I don't know if that's a tax credit thing or what, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not
Do
sure.
a lot of movies get filmed in New Zealand?
I've seen, there was some of the 2013 Evil Dead, some of the stuff got filmed in New Zealand. So,
Yeah, we're losing Los Angeles is losing a lot of just filming locations in general, just because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
we need to ship these
Expensive
jobs
to
back
shoot
to
here.
America.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You think New Zealand needs it? Maybe.
I don't know.
Wish we could
Yeah,
turn
like-
back.
Some
Well,
good
I
New
don't-
Zealand directors, so I can Taika,
Wouldn't it be great if that's how more people dealt with stuff, by the way?
Tiger?
They just-
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be great if more people dealt with that?
Wait.
Does this happen? And then we go, I don't even know.
Mhm.
Instead of going, it's like this. What's up?
No, honestly, it was going to be on another change because I was going to say, what that name sounds so familiar, but
Taika Waititi. Jojo Rabbit.
Thor
I haven't
Ragnarok,
seen it.
yeah.
I was told one.
Yeah.
Jojo Rabbit's really
Great.
good. What we do
Yeah.
in the shadows.
Great director. All right. So,
Amazing.
originally this was going to air on HBO Max. It wasn't called Max yet. I don't want to fucking hear it, dog.
What a
was-
mistake.
It was going to originally happen like that, but it tested so well that the producers were like, fuck it. Like,
It's fine.
Swear to God. The producers were like, everybody loves this. Put it in theaters. And thank God
Yeah.
they did because I'm not going to say the number, but it did well.
Yeah.
That is probably the most blatant hint we've gotten, I think, all the time. Wow.
I think
that's-
I think
wow.
it's one of the Evil Dead movies I made the most.
Ooh. Ooh.
Shot entirely chronological because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of stuff happens in that apartment. It would be pretty tough to reset after
Oh,
some of those
yeah.
shots.
Yeah.
Like burning people to death and shit. All the character names are taken from previous Evil Dead films. So everybody's first name is from either
Oh.
2013 or any of the original Evil Deads. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, isn't or is?
Is.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Like I said before, it's the return to New Line being their producers because they finally made up after many years of them being pretty pissed off about them fucking them out of the rights for 81 to reuse.
It took them 40 years.
Right. And originally it was banned. The original Evil Dead was banned in Ireland. And
Really?
and so this director, Lee Cronin, kind of joked, or he's like, I closed the loop, you know. He's like, I brought it back, you know.
Beautiful.
He said some of the only people to get offended by this movie with the promotional materials and stuff were like the Irish Film Board. They were like, this is like too much with like children being hurt and stuff. And he was like, well, fuck you.
I'm wearing this jersey in protest section.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah. And there's also a lot.
I'm with the board.
There's a lot of
I turn heel and then I hit you guys with a steel chair.
I'd be shocked because I'd be like, do we have steel chairs in the apartment?
Where do these fucking chairs come from?
Did he bring that with him?
That's Sean Dolan's music.
I thought we outlawed those. Okay, so the pizza is from Henrietta's Pizza, which is a clear nod to Henrietta, the woman in the woman in the basement. From Evil Dead 2.
She was making pizza that whole time.
Yep. If only she got to go back.
Our secret ingredient is what's his name?
Ted Raimi's
sweat.
It's the water. That's all the New Yorkers say about their pizza. It's the
water. We make this with Ted Raimi's sweat. It's so salty. It's great.
It adds the flavor to our crust.
Yeah. No, salt water won't do the same.
It won't be the same.
You need Ted Raimi's
Oh, it's
sweat.
salty water for sure. The building is called the Monde Building. The name of it, MONDE, which is an acronym for demon. Ooh. Or an anagram. Sorry, I said an acronym. An anagram for demon.
Yeah,
That's
come
fun. Come on. This is the only Evil Dead film that does not feature the 88 Royale of Sam Raimi's. That is that car from Evil Dead is in every single one of Sam Raimi's movies that he's produced.
Are you sure it's not in the parking garage?
That's correct. It's a similar car, but it is not the car.
Did
However,
they do that on purpose to make it a similar? They're like, fuck, if we couldn't get the car, let's just.
yeah, they get finally
gave out.
Yeah, but they did a little homage to it. Which was with the chainsaw, which is the same color as the car. Because the chainsaw is red in the other films, but they made it yellow in this one. And they named it Elise after the prop master from the last Evil Dead.
He was
movies.
leasing it.
He's leasing the car.
Yeah. We'll name it Elise. That was the last thing I said before I died. You sure you don't want to laugh? You sure you don't want to laugh?
You're gonna feel really shitty when I die in the next couple minutes.
My car just comes flying.
You get hit by an 88 Royale.
Oh my god!
There it is. It made it. The car made it. Okay. Alyssa Sutherland took inspiration from The Mask and Jim Carrey for her demon
can you
character.
edit that in?
The car?
The car hitting you? Dude, please do some CG with the car hitting you. Car, that's you typing in car from Evil Dead.
Hey, what? No!
Sean.
I'm dead.
I would say this is Alyssa Sutherland.
Yeah.
Hands down, the best Deadite.
Yeah.
Like, she fucking crushed that.
Finish that sentence. Deadeye, what, ever seen?
Yeah, best Deadite I've ever seen. I think she was also finest. Hands down, finest Deadite.
Put your hands in...
Am I not allowed to say that?
No.
You did it all on your own. We were all just chilling here, and
I think she's the finest Deadite I've ever seen.
I don't think anyone would disagree with you. You know, maybe somebody in the '80s that had a huge crush on one of the actresses back then.
I was gonna say, who?
But hey, come on.
Who's your competition? I mean, that one guy from who was even in the first one? I forget the first one's actors.
All right, we got 15
Was
minutes.
anyone hot?
All right.
We got 15 minutes, so we're going to...
Was anyone hot?
Yeah.
I mean, they were good
Everybody
looking.
was hot.
Everybody was good looking.
All of Ash's girlfriends have always been hot.
That's true.
They change her out every movie, but they kill
yeah, I
her
was
every
gonna say,
movie.
which apparently was still the same person though.
Yeah,
that was a lot for me to learn.
You got it.
Yep.
Okay. The cat lives. Everybody was worried about that, but the director is a huge cat person, and Lee Cronin wanted everyone to know, don't worry, the cat does not get murdered by, because remember the cat goes up through the air ducts, and that gives the demon the idea to go through the vents, but the cat escapes, so no need to worry, cat lovers. There's a vine tattoo. There's a vine tattoo on Ellie, which is a reference to the vines wrapping around Bobby Joe in the woods and other characters. And of course, the obvious in the elevator with the wraparound is similar to the woods scene.
that was a cool moment.
Yeah,
trippy.
Really well done.
Yeah.
And I think it was gonna go there, in the split seconds when it was happening.
Yeah.
You thought it was just gonna hang her or something,
right?
But you're like, God damn, fuck. That grabs her again. I think you got her.
Fucking chill, dog. Okay, and I'll let you touch on any last things that you want to do before budget and box office. But the last thing that I want to say is the director was very clear about this. He said we might not have used as much fake blood gallon wise as some of the other films. I think clearly referring to the 2013 Raining Blood scene. But he said our fake blood was all dark, murky, sticky, real blood, not the thing you brought up during the last one, which is it wasn't watered down. It wasn't. You couldn't rain this blood because it was too thick.
Yeah.
He said our blood was fucking thicky blood.
Nice.
He said, and everybody on the set.
That good blood.
And he said we definitely used more than all of Ash vs. the Evil Dead episodes combined. He's like, I know we used a shit ton of blood because they had that whole scene from like The Shining style. Blood pouring out of the elevator.
Out of the elevator. Yeah. I forgot about that. A good homage.
Yeah.
I guess the very much in the Evil Dead vein to bring up Nightmare on Elm Street. When the kids knock on the door, they're like, "You guys, you want to come over?" They're telling one of the girls, "You want to come over and watch all of the Nightmare on Elm Streets?" And he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna watch all of them." And he's like, "Even the bad one." He's like, "There are no bad ones." It's just that Evil Dead always has to reference Nightmare on Elm Street in some way.
Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah. It was great. Yeah. It's one of my favorites. It's so in the vein of what makes Evil Dead, while also just bringing so much like new stuff to the table.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I don't know what else. I forget all the facts.
I would say it's like visually striking in a way that the other ones weren't able to capture in the same way. Not that I mean, obviously for 1981,
right?
The first one was so
it feels
unique.
hard to compare.
It feels
different eras.
Yeah, right. It feels like for 2013, it was kind of on par for other things that had come out, but still was unique and cool. You know? But this one really to stand out now is really difficult to do, given that like the progenitor of all this, of the 1981 version, is like what everybody's kind of copied. Yeah. And then to be able to take all of that and still reinvent Evil Dead in a way that honors the old stuff, but gives you something new and original. It's fucking cool, man.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, there's all these little hints, like, in Army in Darkness, there's that part where, like, the little deadites end up in his stomach, so he starts drinking hot water. And then this one, you have the girl who's like, I have all these buggies crawling in my stomach, and she starts eating glass to get rid of them. It's like,
oh, fuck that.
It's such a reference, though, to like, the idea of like trying to kill something inside of your stomach so you eat something ridiculous. Yeah. It's just so Evil Dead. The cheese grater. Fucking cheese grater. We watched it in the movies, and when that cheese grater came out, everyone went,
and you just knew as soon as it got picked up, you're like, no, but you knew.
Yeah. They put that
honestly, the glass was worse.
The glass was worse for
you?
I
fucking hated that. I seen it like stick out.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, they made merch or promotional stuff with the cheese grater
Really?
as like the skyscraper. It's so funny.
man. Yeah, that
Yeah, that cheese grater scene is got like notorious
it's
now.
funny because Lee Cronin talked about that where he's like, when we were writing the script, we were just everybody stuck inside and we were just like looking at like household stuff and like what haven't we seen,
Yeah.
He's just like fucking cheese grater. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
fucking gnarly, dude.
Oh, the blood in the eggs was gross.
Oh yeah.
That grossed me out a lot.
Yeah, all around just a fucking phenomenal movie. I would never. I think it would be tough for me to ever do like a which one's better to me thing because they all feel
Very
so
different,
unique to
yeah.
their own time and
Yeah, I would
I-
say Rise is my favorite though.
yeah.
Rise and 2 are my favorites. Like these are my favorite Evil Dead films. But Rise is like, I think Rise hits me in like in a very specific place, and I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
This is great. There's so many family dynamics going on that like I was like this fucking hits a spot.
Yeah,
A spot that I wanted from Evil Dead since I saw it. Like that scene where like in the first one where the Deadite like changes and like it's like Ash, I'm okay. Like
Yeah.
as
yeah.
I always wanted to see that explored a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still feels in tune with like it's a different book, like you were saying
Right.
earlier, but it's still the same author.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the guy that wrote the Book of the Dead definitely wrote this book too.
Yeah.
Right, like Shakespeare wrote he wrote Hamlet and he wrote Romeo and Juliet and Midsummer Night's Dream, but he also wrote Titus Andronicus about a girl that gets her hands chopped off and sticks removed or sticks put in place of her hands
Oh,
and it gets her
fuck.
tongue cut out, and it was like right after his son had died in real life, and like yeah, it was like it's like one guy can write a lot, one guy can have a lot of different influences.
Yeah.
Have you ever,
But maybe some of
yeah.
the base of the characters still the same. The whole thing with them in the first one, like giving hints of that, it went in such like a heavier and bigger level though in this one. too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where, it was kind of like it was like done in like a silly way in the first one where it was like, oh, like it's like teasing him, and like then it was like, damn, you're right. It's like I think she just feels this way for sure. You can feel it harder.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
There's more depth to it too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
cool. Not that the other way isn't nice to have that whimsical little, not whimsical, that was a terrible word choice, but
You're on the
You
right
know what
track
I
though.
mean.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's-
It's like playful, but this one's like playful and truly evil instead
Yeah.
of like oh, it's dark and bloody, but it's still like
Yeah.
fun. And
yeah.
and I feel like the 2013 one, the only thing I feel like that was more of maybe the choice of no disrespect to the actors, but I feel like that one kind of I felt like the dynamic. It might have been partly the script too. Just the dynamic of those characters didn't make me really attached to anybody
Right.
too much. And I feel like this is such the opposite, where it's like you're
Yeah.
given you know exactly. It's like gut wrenching to watch,
Yeah.
like, and then to even hear the thing where she's like, "Protect my babies," and then to know that she can't, and like,
Mm-hmm.
and they're still like having to keep going, and you're like, because you just assume you hear that line, you're like, "Oh, surely everyone will be saved," and then
Nope.
they're like, "Nope, we're killing them." You're like, "Fuck, dude."
Killing everybody
Yeah.
too. Like everybody gets it.
Yeah. Oh, we should touch on the cultural thing. Somebody got upset because there's someone who's non-binary or something in the cast, and they're like,
Yeah, like, I mean, it's clear like this, like some of the members of the family are like gender fluid, and like people got mad at that.
as if somehow that would fucking matter about
Right.
anything in the
Yeah, there's like that one part where she's like saying how she wants to go to a protest. Like this also like the climate of
Right.
what everything was at the time. Like
Right.
this was, they were
And
writing
now.
this in 2020 where like protests were like a major fucking thing.
Yeah.
We're all
Yeah.
stuck inside.
We should all be in the street.
Oh yeah. We should
Anyway.
all be protesting.
Well, let's wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. I'm glad we did Evil Dead.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was good.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. Well,
This is my favorite of the three.
We're gonna have to have a Army
Evil
of
Dead
Darkness.
Rise?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, hell.
Yeah, it's so good.
We're gonna have to have
The three we
Darkness
watched
night,
right
yeah.
now, like
Yeah.
Fucking the guy Lee Cronin, he had a short film way before he made Evil Dead Rise called Possession. And it's just like a night where some girl's getting possessed throughout the night. and it just keeps escalating. It's so Evil Dead.
Yeah.
So you can see like he kind of wanted this from the beginning.
Well, and it's so great because it's like they did the same thing they did with the 2013 one, where they went and found, like somebody who didn't have a huge film, filmography to like
Mhm.
look back on. They just found people who had short films that spoke to them, and they were like, hire them, which
Mhm.
is super cool. Of Ted Raimi, Sam Raimi, to and that whole production company to be like, yeah, we're going to support new filmmakers and like
Yeah.
people who we know can properly like project what we want. And I think it was smart because it's like
Yeah.
they found a new way to bring an old thing
Yeah.
to people without like
It's also like giving back,
Yeah.
Apparently he's written an entire like book of like that he's like passing on to filmmakers. That's like the Evil Dead Bible, basically,
right.
of like what things happen in the universe, what things are canon, what you can and can't do, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think George Lucas did the same thing for like Star Wars.
hmm Yeah.
And so like
He just got a massive paycheck for it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, hey, make it for 7-year-olds. All right.
Yeah.
let's wrap it up. Let's do budget box office and Rotten Tomatoes. We're gonna start budget box office, and Sean, you get to pick who goes first because you had a clean sweep.
Okay. We'll reverse it this time. You do this one first. I'll do the second.
You're gonna make him
Okay.
go first. Okay. You go first.
Budget $20 million.
Okay.
Box office $80 million.
80 million. Okay.
It was similar to what I was gonna.
Okay.
Um.
Well, you can't say that.
Yeah. I'll go 28
Oh.
for budget, and
Okay.
I'll say
Yeah, I might be wrong on the budget. Budget might be higher.
we'll go maybe less though. I don't know. Fuck it. I'll go 90. Yeah, fuck it.
Okay.
You might be right. It made a fuck ton of money.
Budget $12 million.
Ooh.
Ray
Dude,
picked that
that's
one up. Box office is $147 million.
Damn.
Oh, dude,
Nice.
that's really good.
Isn't that
really good.
insane?
That's really good for like, especially for like an Evil Dead movie, because like Evil Dead's so underground for the most part. It's like a cult classic rather than having made that much money. And Army of Darkness, I think, made a decent amount too, but this
Not
is
even close
definitely
to-
yeah.
Yeah. This is more, it's made more money than all the original Evil Deads put together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
well,
2013.
yeah. There's probably a significant margin, right?
I forget
Or
the
maybe-
2013 amount, but I know as far as the original 3 movies, it for sure. I
not even
think
close,
yeah, box office for all of those combined.
This
might have
made
been
more
like
than
20.
Hereditary, I think.
Yeah, Hereditary did what, 89 million, I think it was.
Yeah, like close to 90 million.
All right, and
I'll go first on this one.
he's just
Okay.
fuck. Okay.
Alright, that's-
Critic and audience, hit me.
So we tied on that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
tied
1-1,
on it,
yeah.
1-1.
I'll say critics. I feel like it'd be good. I'm gonna go 89.
Okay.
I'll say audience 81.
I'm gonna say critics 85.
Okay.
And then audience, I'm gonna say 72.
Critic score 84.
Ooh.
So close.
Wow. Well, wait. What do you say exactly? Were you one
84.
off? Oh, you got on?
Or 85 is what I said.
85,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
one off. Yeah.
Damn,
Oh
nice.
man. And the audience score was 76.
Whoa, dude, that was so close.
Damn, you basically got them both.
Yeah.
Wait,
Damn.
what did you say exactly in that
You're-
too? It was 76, and what was?
It was
his?
84% and 76%.
Because I was
Wow.
feeling like it probably got a good critic score, but this is also a very recent horror movie. So I was
Yeah.
like, it's probably sitting in like the pathway of like just being over critiqued.
Yeah.
And then like audience score, it's $140 million at the box office. That means a bunch of people who've never watched an Evil Dead movie have went to watch this movie. It is a good movie, but a lot of reviews are probably bad because they're like, this is disgusting. So I was like, yeah, it was 72 would be like right up there.
Yeah.
Fucking perfect, dude.
Damn,
Outstanding.
dude, you had 3% off total from both.
That's
Combined.
wild. I was so
I
surprised.
can respect that. When I lose to that,
Yeah.
you know.
I was so surprised on the 140 million. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they even broke 100 million.
Yeah, it's crazy to.
That's why they were so ready to back the next two. Evil Dead Burn, and then there's another one supposedly coming out, and then an Evil Dead cartoon.
Yeah.
And so,
Long overdue.
Yeah, that's apparently in works for because Bruce Campbell can't physically do fucking Ash anymore.
Yeah, he can just get up at conventions and berate the audience.
Mhm. Oh, dude, you know he hates Peter Jackson.
Does he really?
Yeah, he's like, somebody asked him about the Lord of the Rings movies at a convention, and he was like, I fucking hate them. I've
Nope.
never seen them. I'll never see them. I hate them. I hate Peter Jackson. And they were like, why? And apparently he was shooting a film around the same time Lord of the Rings was shooting, and they needed horses. But Peter Jackson had rented out all of the horses in that town. And so they couldn't get horses. And so ever since then, Bruce Campbell just fucking hates Peter Jackson.
And I think that's why because the New Line deal was going to be the thing that got them that whole Ash versus Freddy versus Jason.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to say this whole like he has this interview where he's like, oh no, it's because like they were trying to fuck us and like they wouldn't have given us money and all this stuff. And then like you look back at it and you're like, oh, you guys just hated New Line for fucking you guys out of the movie. That's why you didn't want to do it. Like they hold grudges, dog. Evil Dead crew doesn't fuck around.
That just says so funny.
You fuck me, you fuck forever. Yeah.
And like Peter Jackson just probably has no idea.
Yeah.
He's just making his fucking magnus opus.
Wally
Well-
Well, that was a lot of fun.
Horse is such a beautiful creature.
Thank you, boys, for going on this Evil Dead journey with me. Glad you came up with the idea. And let's see, what do we got coming up? Oh yeah, we'll have a new episode out next week. Should be our Black History Month what would it be? The final February episode will be our Black History Month episode, unless we fuck up our schedule.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
We're not for like
Yeah, we might just
nothing's in stone right now. But
We
we
might
will be
also take
doing
a nap.
They Live at some point soon. I really want to
Yeah.
do They Live soon.
Great movie.
Because it's culturally relevant right now.
Yeah. We yes, we'll do that. I you know what? First week of March. How about that?
Yeah.
Great idea.
We live in an oligarchy.
Don't forget the fascism. Gotta sprinkle that in there. Anyway, that's for another podcast. We love you guys. Thank you all for being here. If you're not a member of the Patreon, you can join for free for a whole week. You can get our Patreon.
You're not a member, be a member, baby.
Yeah, you can join for as low as $3 a month after that. $3 for audio, $5 for video, and then of course higher tiers get you extra bonus stuff. Thank you to our Patreon members who we haven't mentioned yet, which would be Aaron, Jackie, and
Dank Sinatra.
Dank Sinatra. Yeah, I have a friend. His screen name is Dank Caliendo, and that's why I always forget the Dank Sinatra. I always forget which one to say. So thank you for always catching me on that, Sean.
That's all right. Well, I can always do it if you need me.
Kind of your main job, bro.
Dank Sinatra.
All right. Well,
I can do that in my sleep.
we'll see you guys next week. Do you guys want to throw these? I figure it's the end of the
Which
end
one
of the
am I
road.
getting?
Here, Evil Dead 2, and you get Evil Dead Rise. Just try and hit the top of the camera. We don't own that. All right, ready? All right, 1, 2, 3. Miserable failures. All right.
That's actually harder than it looks.
Swallow this.